Hey everybody, welcome to the Stock Car Spectacle. I'm Ian Jortson,
I'm Nick Kinzel.
And I'm Tom Hoblin.
and we are back for another season of NASCAR, the 2025 season. We've had a lot of changes, a lot going on throughout this off season. But guys, before we get into all that, it's going to be very exhausting. Let's talk about our diecast of the week. Tom, let's move over to you. What you got, buddy?
All right. I brought my diecasts of the off season. My my advent calendar from Lionel Racing. So this is what I gotta get it in frame here. And I don't know if you can still hear me, but all the diecasts that we got for the advent calendar. Um, Kyle Busch, a couple Joe Gibbs Toyotas at the top. There's a Blaney win in here. Old Chase Elliott. Just a
Nice.
lot of fun, different fun colors. So it
Oh,
was a good epic calendar.
yeah, absolutely, man. That's awesome. All right, Nick, what you got for us today?
This is one I don't even know if I've ever played this one on the show before, but we're kind of in our preseason vibes right now. So like the old preseason Thunder days, and this card just gives off preseason Thunder vibes to me. 2012, Trevor Bayne. It's the Motorcraft scheme, but it's the frosted version. I don't know why I got this, but I was just looking for a diecast for a show today, and I was like, I don't think I've ever played this. And yeah, the old frosted here gives up the old gray colors that those cars would be when they used to do the preseason Thunder testing back at Daytona all those years ago. So I thought, we're in the preseason technically right now, so why not bust it out?
I always love those the testing cars just back in the day that no sponsors on there,
Yeah,
just flat out. That looked cool, man. But yeah, that diecast is sweet.
yeah. It's just one that I don't even remember getting it. I was just looking for something. I was like, oh, this is going to be perfect for this week.
Yeah, right. All right, for my diecast of the week, we're going to Bowman Gray Stadium. That's kind of an old school stadium for stock car racing, so I had to bring out an old school diecast, my Lee Petty
Whoa.
What
42.
the?
Pretty sure I got this at an antique shop. I saw this. I was like, I have to get this. This is too
Wow.
cool to pass up. Like, the first generation of
Yeah,
NASCAR racing right here. So
that's sick.
yeah, I thought this would be pretty good to throw into this week.
Excellent.
Alrighty, guys. Well, we have a lot of stories to get through. So how about we start off with the biggest one, and it's what everybody has wanted, and Junior Motorsports has entered into a Cup Series race for this year's Daytona 500. They got the number 40. Justin Allgaier is going to be driving it. We know that he has been a veteran driver over there at Junior Motorsports in the Xfinity stable. So we'll see what he'll be able to do here at the world's greatest race. So guys, I'm excited for this.
Yeah.
It's I believe it's a Hendrick backed car, so basically a fifth Hendrick car out there, which you can say what you want about and all your feelings on that. But one thing I will say is I don't think Justin Allgaier will have to worry about racing his way into the 500. I think this might be a done deal as long as he can keep his foot down and hold a good line.
That's
Yeah, man.
exciting. I would have loved to have seen it to be a guy like a Truex, just to go back to the old days. But I mean, if this is a Hendrick back car, then I can understand why it wouldn't be. But yeah, really cool for Gator. This is going to be. Hopefully, this leads to some bigger and better things for Junior Motorsports expanding up here into the Cup Series. I know they didn't. They said that they don't have anything else scheduled or planned, but hey, this is a good start right here.
Yeah, definitely opens up the door for them, that's for sure.
And I know it was Dale Jr. He kept saying it for months and months now. It's always been his dream. I'm sure he said it longer than that, but it's always been his dream to field a car in the 500 and whatnot. And he kind of compared it when he was working the Indy 500 and walking out onto the grid with all the cars sitting there, and he's can only imagine the feeling of owning one of those cars. And now hopefully he'll get to see it, depending on how Speed Week goes.
Yeah, really cool for Dale Jr. do that, do something that his father was able to do for many years. All right, guys, a big one. We got Red Bull back in the sport. We used to have Red Bull Racing, back with Casey Kane and who was that? Brian Vickers was
Yeah.
driving the Red Bull car too. So definitely brings back some nostalgia, and they're going to be partnering with Shane Van Gisbergen and Connor Zilisch, who is going to be making his Cup Series debut at Circuit of the Americas. So, guys, two big W's for the sport right there.
For sure. I mean, Zilich was tearing it up in the truck. I mean, running a second faster than those guys. So kind of saw this one coming, put him in every road course you can here. And as for Red Bull, it's just cool. I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner. I'm surprised that Red Bull wasn't on that first Project 91. You'd think that they'd get behind their driver for a one-off race, especially with how deep of pockets Red Bull seems to have. But those cars are going to look so good out on the track.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, it's just I'm just happy to see that Red Bull is coming back with SVG because he was a multi-time champion with Red Bull behind him. So pretty cool to see, and can't wait to see what Connor Zilisch will
Yeah.
do. This kid,
Yeah.
he's going full time in the Xfinity Series this year with Junior Motorsports. We know that he's going to kick ass. He ran two Rolex 24s in a row. Didn't really work out for Trackhouse this year for them, but it was cool to see that Trackhouse put out a car for this prestigious race with these two guys, with SVG and Connor Zilisch.
Yeah, I was looking for him the whole time while I was watching that race, and they never really cracked into the competitive aspect of it. But they were there, they finished, and I feel like that's an accomplishment for a team like Trackhouse, who hasn't really done something like that before.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, up until that last, I think they were fourth. I think they got up as high as fourth. And I
Hmm.
think Zoas spun out or something, and
Mm.
then that set them all the way back to ninth or something. But yeah, very cool, and very cool for Red Bull to be back. It's just nice to see a sponsor come back into the sport that has been out for so long. We've been losing big sponsor after big sponsor. So hey, kudos to them for coming back, and those cars look sexy. And yeah, looking forward to seeing Zilch, seeing what he could do this year.
Especially with how big of a sponsor Red Bull
Mm-hmm.
is too. I mean, they are known, they're one of the biggest companies in the world, and they went all out with promoting coming back into the sport with skydiving with a Goodyear tire and then putting it on the car. That was really cool. So they're all in. Just like when Monster came into the sport a few years ago, they were all in too. So I just love to see that these sponsors are actually trying to make a name for themselves inside the sport while also promoting the sport and getting more eyes on it.
Well, yeah, and it brings in that competition aspect. I mean, you had all the beer cars going racing at it. It's like, oh, which beer car is going to finish better? And then you had the Lowe's and the Home Depot, and those guys, those drivers were at the top of their game when they were driving for them. So, like, it's fun to see that aspect of the competition, and they could poke a little fun at each other in the media and in commercials and all that. And it could be really cool.
Oh, how far we've come from like cigarette brands and beer brands fighting against each other, and now we got energy drink brands and like nicotine brands racing on
Ugh.
track against each other. So, man, how times have changed. All right, guys. Casey Kane, he is coming back into the sport. It has been a while since we have seen that name. He's going to be driving the 33 for Richard Childress Racing in the Xfinity race at Rockingham. So, going to be cool to see him back out. We know that he has experience running that track before they stopped racing there back in the day. So, can't wait to see what he'll be able to do after a few years not being behind the wheel of a stock car
Yeah,
at
I
least.
think I think this is a really good track for him to do a comeback at because, like you said, he's one of the very few, if not the only one, who's going to be in this field that's going to have experience here. So yeah, it's always cool to see some of these guys come back, and excited to see what Casey can do.
Yeah, it says, I mean, we haven't really seen him since Levine. I don't even remember seeing him in any lower series after Levine kind of folded. So um, it'll be definitely interesting for sure. See what he can do. I mean, the RCR Xfinity cars are very competitive. So it's probably a good good reason why he agreed to do this in the first place. He's like, oh, I'm not going to get in some crap box and go run 30th. Like
Yeah,
he could get a top 10. He could get a top 5.
yeah, I think that's a great pairing right there. We got Bass Pro Shop. They're going to be sponsoring Chase Briscoe for all 36 races this year, probably including the Clash and the All-Star race. So that's pretty cool. Um, and that's old school right there. We used to have sponsors going all out with these teams for every single race. And now every driver has what, 5, 6 sponsors,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll always
Right.
change up the paint scheme. So I like this.
Rest in peace, FedEx.
Oof. We'll get to
Yeah,
that.
King's Hawaiian rolls, man.
Yeah, we'll get to that a little later, but no, this is good. This is old school. Keeping one sponsor, like you said, and that's good for the brand of the driver. It's good for the brand of the team. He'll be one of the most recognizable guys. I mean, one of the reasons Kyle Larson, other than his skill, is so such a big name in the fandom right now is because he's driving that red, white, and blue car week in, week out. Nothing's changing on that thing. You always know where Kyle Larson is on the track, and hopefully with Chase Briscoe, they come up with a scheme that is his own. It's not too much like an MTJ scheme, and he can kind of build his own branding off of this.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw his paint scheme, but it looks good. It's definitely different, but still looks real good. All right, and speaking of MTJ, he is going to be running with Tricon Garage in the Daytona 500. They're a Truck Series team, and they're going to be coming up in the Cup Series and giving him a hand to attempt to run the Daytona 500. So it will be cool to see that pairing, and they're going to be running the 56, his old Michael Waltrip Racing number.
It's a very interesting year for the open car in the Daytona 500. I mean, there's so many teams and whatnot trying to go, and you had all the drama in the offseason with 2311 when 2311 promised, well, Denny promised Martin he'd have a car ready for him, and then they went into litigation, and who knows if Denny had a chance to set that up. But then Tricon stepping up and building a cup car, we assume this is just going to be like a 5th JGR car. So um, if Hendrick gets to have a 5th car,
Okay.
Joe Gibbs was like, hey, can't let them get away with that. We're gonna have a 5th car as well. And we'll
Okay.
just put Tricon badge on it.
Yeah, I like it.
It'll be good to see Martin in the race still.
Well, that's cool. It's cool. He's running his old number in the 56, and he's got his old crew chief back for this one.
Mhm.
Cole Pern is going to be crew chiefing for him for this little one-off here. So, yeah, very cool to see. Martin's still chasing that Daytona 500 trophy, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, he was oh so close in 2016, and you know that he,
Yeah.
God,
Ugh.
Well, my concern with this is that Toyota doesn't ever really qualify well for the 500. And so will he get in on speed? There's so many open cars, and then who knows what happens if he doesn't get in on speed, where he's gotta then race his way in, and who knows what could happen in the draft. But I'm sure also in the draft, Toyota will do whatever they can to get as many Toyotas in that race as possible. So
Just going to make these duels so much more exciting. We have so
Mm.
many open cars this year. I
Mm.
mean, for years, it's just kind of been like the battle of the 2 shit boxes of who's going to get into the
Right.
Daytona 500. But now we kind of got some guys here that really have to go for it, and it's going to be
I mean,
exciting.
and it's not like random cars pulling
Right.
up with bad name. It's good teams backing open cars with huge names that are all going to be trying to race through it. And like Jimmy Johnson and Martin Truex Jr. are not guaranteed to get into the Daytona 500, champions of the sport. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess for whoever, Elio Castroneves is guaranteed to
Right.
get into the 500, which I
It's
don't know. I don't know. It takes away for a little bit of the drama of the duels and whatnot, but still there's going to be a lot of drama and whatnot surrounding. I mean, there's going to be a big name that's going to miss out on the Daytona
yeah.
500, plain and simple.
But we can have 41 cars if he does take that
Yeah.
provisional, which, hey, why not? You know
I
what?
mean, yeah,
Screw it.
you show up, you built the car and whatnot, it's all paid for. You're not going to get any money from it, but even if you win, but I mean, that's also the prestige of this race. He may not care that he doesn't get any money for winning the Daytona
He just
500.
wants to do it.
He just wants to get there, and if he wins it, he wins it.
Mm-hmm.
And we know Elio knows how to race around an oval. I'm sure he'll
Yeah.
figure this one out just fine.
Anthony Alfredo will be attempting the 500 with Beard Motorsports. We saw how close he was to winning Daytona in the fall.
Hmm.
The kid knows how to run these super speedways, and Beard Motorsports believes in him. So that's good to see. Chandler Smith with MBM Motorsports. We'll see if they make it in. Nick, your boy BJ McLeod, he's attempting another
I
Daytona
just remember,
500.
man, those duels last year. He was up there leading for just a little bit. That was
Like
Yeah.
exciting.
it's like we still got a car laying around. Let's just throw it in there. Why not?
And yeah, Corey LaJoy, he'll be running part-time with Rick Ware Racing.
Pit reporter Corey
Um,
LaJoy.
This guy's not a
yeah,
joke. I can't wait.
something I don't really understand the whole thing. Something with his Stacking Pennies podcast. He's gonna
His
help with,
podcast is sponsoring his race.
I
All right.
think so. But his NASCAR, his podcast is funded by NASCAR and all that. It's the official like NASCAR pod. So it's a car funded by
Well,
NASCAR because
they're gonna
we
have to
got our
find a
golden
new
boy with Chase Elliott, but he's our
Ah,
copper boy.
they're gonna
this
have to find a
dude,
new full-time driver to back up as NASCAR's official
yeah,
podcast
right.
because
This dude couldn't even get the Rick Ware racing job full time.
Dude, they had to
He's
go with
I mean
Cody Ware,
they had to give it to his son. That that makes sense.
who is relatively so much fucking worse.
Let's
I just
put
think it's funny. Corey was making some comments about running the lower series. I get it. This is what his sponsors want. His sponsors want to run on Sundays, but he's not going to get a lot of recognition on TV unless he's
if
getting
he's
lapped
not
about three
running,
or four
yeah.
times. Yeah, he's gonna. I don't understand. He's done. Just the comments that he made about the lower series, like you have
Mm.
accomplished absolutely nothing in all three series of this sport. You have no room to be talking about any of that. This guy's just a joke, and what to do? Enjoy your 5 races with Rick Ware, running 32nd every single week. You'll get your TV time when you're getting put your fourth lap down of the race.
I think that Rick Ware should have gotten 2 old Hendrick cars so he doesn't like blow out the testing rules and whatnot, lose his time and lose any money. But he buys 2 old Hendrick cars from Rick Hendrick and then sets them both out at Charlotte Motor Speedway, 10 laps. Whoever wins gets the full-time job. Cody Ware, Corey LaJoy, because frankly, that would be more exciting than the races they're going to put on this season.
Yeah.
Have it be like the Ricky versus Trevor thing back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Oh Corey.
Yeah, but definitely probably going to be the most exciting duels that we'll see in a
Oh,
very
it's going to
long
be
time. I'm very excited for this.
fantastic.
All right, Nick, and you were talking about FedEx leaving Denny Hamlin. Well, he just got another big sponsor, King's Hawaiian, leaving RFK Racing and going over to Denny Hamlin. So that's cool. He's got a few
Yeah,
more
we need it.
sponsors to kind of fill it in.
We need the sponsors. FedEx is gone. Mavis is gone. So now we're down to Sport Clip, Yahoo. We got King's Hawaiian for 4 races, I think, and then whenever they want to slap Interstate on the car. So yeah,
Hey, hell, he might get a DeWalt scheme. You never know.
yeah, this is true. We might slap that one on
He
there.
could get a
That'd be
Reese's
cool.
scheme.
They're gonna have to
And
start figuring it out here.
yeah, that it's baffling to me that nobody wants to sponsor Denny Hamlin when he's probably one of the most recognizable names left in the sport. And nobody wants to back him up. But
Yeah, the
they also
FedEx.
were able to purge a sponsor away from a team that's gone probably in a different direction. I mean, RFK out of the third charter, they brought in Kroger, so they have a car completely funded. So maybe Kings Hawaiian didn't fit in their plan, and Kings Hawaiian was looking for that recognizable driver, and Denny Hamlin needed to fill the space. So
Yeah.
it's just interesting, and also interesting to see the juxtaposition of Denny Hamlin at the late years of Joe Gibbs versus Kyle Busch at the late years of Joe Gibbs, and how they were going to try to piece together a sponsorship model for this. And who knows what? I mean, this could hypothetically be Denny's last year. I know he signed a multi-year extension, but
Hey, don't got the
That
sponsors.
doesn't
You're
mean
not gonna
shit.
run.
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
yeah, losing FedEx, that one
Mhm.
stung, but losing, I'm
Did it
surprised that
sting
they
though? Did it
like
sting? Because I
it.
mean, yes, it's iconic.
Yeah,
It's been with him his whole career. That's the sting.
but I
But
think the one
it's
that
not like
stings
they were with
more,
him 36
right?
races for his whole career and then they just quit cold turkey. I mean, we've seen them in decline
They
for
regret.
a
Yeah,
while.
they
They were
regress
on
fast.
like 7 cars last year. And yeah, they're always on the A post, but like or
I
the
think
B
that
post, but
stings
yeah, it's
more.
It
I
does
think that
sting
stings more
more.
to see them decline like that, and then
hmm
then
and
they
then
just kind
finally
of
just pull out.
they just
But
brought
then
him
to
out
just
back and put him
lose,
down.
just to lose Mavis just out of nowhere like that. That one,
Yeah, they were
that was
shooting
that was another.
commercials with him,
That was a
and
big one too.
he was
They were
winning
doing
races in Mavis cars all the time.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
were doing like so many different like cool paint schemes, and they were having fans do like pick paint schemes
Yeah,
and stuff. So it seemed like they were really involved. And I was thinking maybe they're moving over to a different driver, but I haven't heard anything about that
uh-huh.
at all.
no,
So
maybe they're just getting out. Maybe they saw the end of their contract, didn't think it was worth the money, and pulled out again.
yeah,
I'd say they got their
definitely.
money's worth though.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
definitely. I
yeah.
mean, he won a
Got
lot
some
of
race.
races with them.
Yeah.
hmm
Alrighty, let's move over to the NASCAR 25 video game, guys. We have been looking forward to this since they gave us that abomination that they call NASCAR Ignition. Um, this game looks incredible already from the little snapshots that we saw. We know that it is going to be built by iRacing. Dale Jr. is the head guy for picking music for this video game, which I am all for. I think that's great. And
Average
it's
Touch Tunes and Spotify user Dale Earnhardt
yes.
Jr.
And the game is going to feature the NASCAR Cup Series, the Xfinity Series, the Truck Series, and the ARCA Menard Series. So, guys, that is so awesome to see the top four series of stock car racing being represented in this video game. I can already imagine, going through the whole career mode of starting down in ARCA and moving up. And I'm just really excited for all the different things that we can see with this new video game.
I hope it's realistic. Like iRacing's making it so hopefully they just bring over their physics model. It's fantastic. I don't think it's that hard to get into. Maybe they're gonna have a little bit more arcade mode settings and whatnot. I just want like the flow of races. I want cautions. I want the AI to be realistic, and all that stuff. And who knows? I mean, we know NASCAR fans are never satisfied with anything and whatnot. So I think if iRacing can't build a game that people are happy with, and granted they don't do story modes, they don't do career modes or anything on iRacing. It's just like get on and race. So I have to assume the physics are going to be good. I have to assume the AI is going to be mostly okay. But I don't know about how their play style or their off the racetrack stuff is going to feel like.
It's just
But I'm
it's gonna be
optimistic. I'm
yeah,
optimistic.
Mhm.
it's gonna be refreshing. I mean, we just got the same rinse and repeat versions of NASCAR Heat for all those years. I never even touched Ignition. It looked terrible. Never purchased a copy. Never played it.
I
I just kept playing Heat 5. If I wanted to play a NASCAR
uh
game, it's Heat 5. But so yeah, this one's definitely gonna be it's gonna be exciting. I can't wait to start my career off on the ARCA series and run
mhm.
6 laps down in a car that's going 75 miles an hour like some of these guys do out there. If they can do it, so can I.
Man, I got Ignition on the Xbox and it was literally on drive. I could not keep the car in a straight line. I didn't know what I was doing. I put settings down on easy. Nothing made sense. I got it for my computer with like a cheap key and whatnot later, and it doesn't even connect to my steering wheel. Like so Nick, you and I have played the same amount of Ignition basically, and I bought two copies of it.
Oh
Like
no.
it's unplayable. It to this day it's unplayable. And I'm pretty sure there's no updates or anything going through. I think they just
Oh, I
abandoned
doubt
it.
it.
Oh no way.
Yeah.
That I
Yeah.
think that company is
Well, they
folding.
went back. They went back, and after Ignition came out, and it was so bad, they went back and they updated Heat 5 to the 2022
hmm
next gen cars, and that was the last that they ever did with
Yeah.
it.
Well, and they also released a game for the Nintendo Switch as well, which was for like the 2023 season, I think.
Right.
Mm.
So,
But that's kind of what I'm hoping. It's just like out of the box, I want to at least be able to race because we haven't even if it's bad racing, I want to be able to drive because I haven't even been able to drive if I'm not on iRacing. I've been playing a little bit of Forza, a little bit of Wreckfest here and there. Like I tried to get Heat 5 on my computer. Heat 5 doesn't really I can't figure out the settings on my setup. with
Well,
my
I got it
PC.
going on my rig.
So like maybe I need to take some notes from you then, because I can't even get my like steering wheel and pedals to talk to it. So
Hmm.
um it's I just want to be able to sit down and race. I get a little bit stressed out with the iRacing online, trying to be courteous of everybody and trying to hone in my skills and whatnot. For me, I'm more of a gamer where I want to play single player offline and just progress through stuff like that. That's where it calms me down and whatnot. And this online
Oh,
stuff, whether it's first person shooters or whatnot, like I don't enjoy those as much. I feel it makes me feel bad about myself because I'm not very good at them, but
oh,
I'm good
same
with
here, same here.
I'm good with the offline stuff. And so I'm just hoping I can get in and sit down here and drive a 25% race, a 50% race, um, and really just enjoy my time trying to beat the computers.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I have wanted out of a NASCAR video game since probably the first NASCAR heat with the awful one with Carl Edwards on the cover is
Oh,
caution replays. I want to see
Mm,
what caused this caution. Like
mhm.
they used to have that in all the old
oh
NASCAR
yeah.
video games that
Yeah.
were produced by EA
Right.
Sports. That was so great. I just don't know how back in the day they were just so detailed with every single thing, and now
Because it wasn't the
sports
same
games are just so
rinse
Mhm.
and
lazy
repeat.
now.
It's just
Yeah.
rinse and repeat. Update some rosters, slap a new year on it, and that's it. That's what all these sports games have become. So yeah, I'm very
Right.
excited to see how this one's going to turn out.
But
Yeah.
with like the EA, those built up over time too, those EA racing games. And then we got into a little bit of a dead zone with NASCAR games and whatnot. And so these new companies would come in and they'd build one from scratch and they wouldn't know what we actually liked and what we wanted. And so then features go away, features are missing. And then people lose faith in it, so they get less funding to build the games, and then that's where you end up with the original the second coming of NASCAR Heat with Carl Edwards on the cover, and it's just the Cup Series, and it looks very basic, and there's nothing there because they had to build it from scratch with no funding and whatnot. So, like stuff with the physics and the tracks and the caution replays and whatnot, like all of that's already built into iRacing. So if they could package that up and maybe not give us, because they don't want to give away the full iRacing experience on a one-off video game, but they can take some of those features and bring them in, and the foundation is already there, which gets me really excited for a game like this.
Yeah. Got a lot of hope for this. Like you said, iRacing is probably the best racing simulator that you could get. Um,
Definitely for
the
oval
most
racing, that
realistic.
is, yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. All right. So NASCAR is going to be launching a 24/7 NASCAR channel on Tubi. Tubi, it's a free app that you can download and watch TV, and so we're going to have 24/7 NASCAR on there. Seen some people on Reddit talk about this already, that it's already up and running. It's basically just they're showing old races and there's old Speed Network stuff on there. So if you want some nostalgia, find that Tubi NASCAR channel.
Yeah, I mean that's good. I hear Tubi's really popular. I don't have it, but maybe this might be something that gets me in
Yeah. So
there.
how free is really free? So it's free to download, but I'm gonna guess you're gonna have to pay for a no ad section
It's
of it.
well, no,
Yeah.
Oh,
it's called a FAST channel, and FAST is an acronym for free ad supported television. So I think Tubi's the company that runs the commercial. It's like Tubi's free for all people, even or Tubi. We made Tubi free for students who never missed a day of class, but we also made Tubi free for the kids who skipped class and ran amok on the town because Tubi's free for everyone. It's like one of those. It's like that they run their commercial. They don't intend to chart. But again, I remember a day when Hulu was like that. You sign
right.
on to Hulu and they didn't have to pay anything. You watch a 30-second ad, and you could watch as much Family Guy as you wanted. So um, who knows? Maybe to start out it'll be like this, but allegedly it's free. It just runs like a TV. You click on an episode you want to watch, you'll see that 30-second, minute long ad, and then you go on your way. So
Yeah.
I think it's good exposure. I hear Tubi's in a ton of households, and people are looking for alternative entertainment stuff, and they're cutting the cord. So that's that. This is good for NASCAR. Maybe somebody will stumble upon this, see an old race, be like, "Oh, I wonder if they're still doing this stuff."
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's great for the sport. We need a channel like that
Yeah.
back. I've ever since the Speed Network went
Uh,
down, man, it's just been depressing to watch.
Yeah. Well, and they need it because
NBC's
with
NASCAR America.
FS1. with FS1 taking down all the NASCAR, we're losing a daily show, and so this
Yeah, what
is
do we have? There's
like
nothing.
Shannon. Well, now we have Tubi.
Yeah,
Shannon
now we got
Spake's going to
two.
be doing a daily NASCAR show, I believe, or a weekly NASCAR show or something, and that's gonna air on Tubi. So that's
I
what we
think it
got.
was going to be something on Max or one of the new channels.
I mean, practice and qualifying are going to be first half of the season on Prime and the second half of the season on Max.
Yeah,
So you'll have to stream practice and qualifying. I mean, the trying to watch NASCAR this year is going to be difficult. And
trying to remember
um,
what channel it's
well, like
on.
where you need to watch and whatnot. And like again, I work Sunday nights, so Sunday afternoon into the night. And so I've always recorded it on YouTube TV and then come home from work and watch the race. Stay up till 2 a.m. if I have to. And once it goes to streaming and whatnot, I won't be able to just like DVR that stuff anymore. So will I be able to even watch the race before I get it all spoiled? Who knows? Um, it's just
Mm.
going to be navigating this landscape, and you're going to watch trucks on Fox all year, and you're going to watch Xfinity on the CW all year if it doesn't get preempted by college football sometime in the fall, and then you're going to watch the Cup Series on 5 different channels or something. Yeah, it's you're gonna have Fox, then Prime, then TNT, then I think it goes to NBC.
Yeah, NBC does
Yeah.
the
TNT
last
is
Right.
T it's
10
TNT
races.
Max balanced in that middle bit of the season. So I guess each service gets their own crown jewel, which is interesting. But it's gonna be quite a bit of a nightmare. And I'm not sure it's going to look great, and we're going to be stuck with this. Hopefully, we figure it out by like year 3, and people are finally latching onto it. But I don't think the numbers are going to be very good this year. When we're
It's just
especially
gonna be
that,
so hard for
yeah,
your older fans. Your older fans are not gonna want to. They're not gonna want to get all these
which
different apps. They're not
which
gonna.
still is the most of your fandom, and
Yeah.
most of your money comes from TV. And if your older fans, who are most of your fandom, can't watch because they can't figure it out, then how are you supposed to make money on the next TV deal? It's very
Yeah.
tough. And then you have Fox promoting the hell out of the IndyCar series because they've got the whole series this year. And then they're putting over like, oh yeah, by the way, Daytona 500 is coming up.
Yeah.
It's like, oh God,
Just
I'm dreading. And the Fox has the Daytona 500 for the next 7 years.
I miss the old days, Fox,
Like,
TNT, little summer stretch, and then
hmm
just ESPN the rest of the way. That was easy. Everything was there. No apps, no nothing. Just
but
turn on your TV. There it is.
NASCAR got $7 billion
Yeah.
and turned 50 million of that down into a beautiful production facility down there. So, um, uh, who knows? Maybe the quality will get better. They're going to be shooting their Tubi shows out of there. They're going to be shooting some Xfinity races out of there. I hope they go to the track a majority of the Xfinity races, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. I'm excited for Prime's coverage of the races.
Hmm
We've seen how amazing the broadcasts are for the NFL. So really
Yeah.
excited to see what they'll do and show us
Yeah.
for NASCAR.
The
Corey
the
LaJoy had to pick up
actual
a second job.
the the streaming quality, I've always been bummed out by the streaming quality watching Thursday Night Football with their live sports and whatnot. Netflix had a little bit like higher quality, high definition, whatnot, but like the stream was always breaking up watching, and it looked like 480p sometimes coming from Amazon. So I hope that doesn't scare some people away. But I hope with new partners like Max and Prime, they come in and show us what the possibilities are and whatnot. And Dale Jr., he's got ideas on how he would want to broadcast races, and he's probably going into the room and being the most expert level person about what NASCAR is and telling them this is how we should shoot this, and this is how we should do this, and this is where we should look here when this happens. I think Amazon's going to make a really strong first impression. Um, I just hope they stream it in HD,
Yeah. That's all we want.
but whatever.
All right. So Ryan Truex, he's going to be running part-time with Sam Hunt Racing this year starting at Daytona.
Good.
Just wish that this guy was getting a full-time ride. Just doesn't seem to work out for him, but he'll go and win some more races this year.
You think Sam Hunt can pull out some wins?
I think you
Because we
put
see
him
them put
put him
John
at
Hunter
Dover.
Nemechek and stuff in there. Yeah, him at Dover, but man, if the Xfinity Series ran Dover for 30 races a year, I think Ryan Truex could
He'd
finally
be
fit
the
in. It's
champ.
like, yeah, he's fine. He's a fine driver. He can hold his own, but like there's a reason nobody's going after him. There's a reason nobody's sponsoring him. Like he's not, I don't know.
This is true.
It's a terrible landscape for the driver in this time, but like he doesn't bring any of his own money to the table, so he's not gonna race. Plain and simple.
Yeah,
He can't even get full time with Sam Hunt Racing.
yeah, it's true. You think his brother would lend him some cash,
So
some of that
yeah, I don't know.
championship money?
He probably is.
This is
He
probably funding
probably he
it.
probably is. That's the problem with the like. Sure, he's a good driver, but we're never going to find out about it because he's not going to be in top equipment for a long time.
Yep,
Yeah, he won a
money
So
couple
is he? Wait.
talks.
races.
So is he in? He's in no Gibbs, right? It's just Sam Hunt this year. He's not going to do any Gibbs races.
I
One
saw
off.
an article that said that he's going to be running the Daytona race
Tony
with
race
them.
with.
And they
Mhm.
said it could be part of a part-time deal this year.
Yeah.
But just for
So,
Sam Hunt though, not
Yeah.
Gibbs.
but would you rather run 20 races with Sam Hunt versus 5 races with Joe Gibbs?
It's true.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I'm not an expert in that business. Finish
Well, Sam
15th
Hunt, they're
20
up and
times
coming.
or finish 5th 5 times.
Yeah,
I
they're
would.
up and
Yeah.
coming. I think they can build
Mhm.
with him if they
For
really
sure.
want to. Yeah,
For sure. But if they wanted to build with him, you'd think they'd put him in the car the full year.
maybe the team doesn't have the money to go full time.
Yeah. I
I think the Gibbs. I think the Gibbs 5 rides would beat
Mhm.
out the Sam Hunt 20 rides. I really do.
Yeah, but he's done that for a few years now, so it's a tough one, but I think more seat time he's seeing right now is just going to be better, even if the car's not as good.
Yeah, no, totally agree with that. All right, guys. Well, we got a bunch of new faces in new
Woof.
places.
It's gonna be
We said
confusing to watch a race this year, not just because of the TV channel. You're like, who's that? Who's that again? Who's that again?
right.
Ugh.
So Cody Ware, we thought he would never be back in the sport, back
Mhm.
full time in the 51 for Rick Ware Racing. Nepotism at its finest going on here because we know him as probably the worst driver in the Cup Series, and he replaced the second worst Cup Series driver.
Corey LaJoy couldn't even beat out Cody Ware, man. Now he had to go pick up a second job at Amazon Prime being an analyst because
Oh
he
my goodness,
sucks.
man! We raced this week, right?
Yep.
What? I'm
Sunday
on
night.
NASCAR. I'm on NASCAR.com, and they have not updated the drivers. I'm looking at the drivers lineup Cup Series. Josh Berry 4,
No,
Harrison Burton 21.
What?
We raced this week, NASCAR. What are we doing?
I am looking at J-Ski. I'm
Yeah,
Oh
looking
my
at
that's the way to
the.
goodness.
go.
Superior. Got to go to J Ski, of course. Ugh.
I don't trust anything that comes out of NASCAR anymore. Are you kidding
That's
me?
ridiculous. That we raced this week. You don't have an updated roster of your own website.
Yeah, that's
All
pretty
these drivers,
nuts.
whatever, not important. Team chart. Oh, that's good. All
So
right.
yeah, Cody
Thanks.
Ware, and then yeah, Zane Smith. He's going to be
Mhm.
driving the number 38 for Front Row Motorsports. It's a done deal. I'm so happy to see this guy going to be running full time in the Cup Series this year.
Front Row Motorsports,
Yeah,
man.
they're exciting.
They got so lucky. They had a couple of these big talented guys. They didn't have enough seats to put them. They're like, "Yeah, Zane, you can go race over there for a bit. We don't have a spot for you. We're gonna go with this Todd guy." When everybody screamed at them that that was a mistake, guess what? Not even a year later, they're like, "Oh, we'll have our cake and eat it too. Thank you, thank you, Zane. Come back here. I got a nice cushy full time ride for you. Only cost us $40 million."
I'm
Yeah.
really excited. I'm really excited for Front Row Motorsports this year.
Mm-hmm.
You got Zane Smith coming back. You got Todd Gillen. You got Noah Gregson. He's coming into your organization as well. This is just a young team that's just
Yeah.
filled with so much talent. And Front Row has just been on the up and up the last couple of years. They just keep getting better. And now you got just such good young talent in these cars. I'm excited.
With full Ford support,
Yeah.
the speed this team has already shown,
Yeah, this
that's
could be
good looking.
fun. I know
My
Ian's a happy man.
my one gripe is that why didn't they keep Todd Gillen in the 38? Like he he was building his name, he was building his brand, and now you got to go. I don't understand. It's like,
Well,
why did you
because
run? Why did you run Chase Elliott in the 9 for or in the 24 for a year and then change him out? Why did you do that? Like you changing all these numbers every once in a while. Nobody's going to be able to get behind your guy. Keep the
I
brand, the
know
longevity.
the primary reason was because Love's wanted to sponsor Todd, but Love's is only going to sponsor the 34 for
Hmm,
some unknown reason. So,
interesting. Maybe
Hey,
that's just
Ian, could you imagine, like, just even 7 or 8 years ago, being excited for your favorite driver going to drive for Front Row Motorsports? You would have been pissed.
dude,
You would have been pissed. But now, here we
the driver
are.
replacing Landon Castle is Noah Gragson. And you're like,
yeah,
ah,
dude.
shit.
What
Damn
the
it,
hell
now,
did I do to
now,
deserve this? But
yeah. But
no, I think
now,
this is his
yeah.
best. This is Noah's best opportunity in the Cup Series. I mean,
Hmm.
Legacy Motorsports was a dud. Or Motor Club. Stewart House Racing, I mean, they were in their final year and they were just running on fucking
They're out the
fumes.
door, yeah.
And we got a young team, probably the youngest team in the Cup Series right now, honestly, if we look at it.
Yeah.
And just the team is just so dedicated. Front Row Motorsports is so dedicated to all their drivers, the sponsors. I love it. And we got like Bass Pro is back with him. We got True Timber, Rush Truck Center is with Noah. So we got a lot of huge sponsors
He
going to be coming in
hung on
here.
to some of those sponsors from SHR, which was really
Yeah.
good too.
And we're running the 4, and it's like it's the same font as Kevin Harvick's. Like, oh man, I'm gonna be very, very happy this year.
Yeah,
The prophecy has been foretold.
front row as a whole, they just have such a stacked roster. Even going down to their truck program, you got Lane Riggs, who just became Superman at the end of last year, and now they got Chandler Smith coming to that team too. And on top of their Cup talent, like front row motorsports, they're legit and they're talented, and they are going to be a force to be reckoned with in both series this year.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure. And they're hungry. Like they've
Yeah.
been at the bottom. They've done starting parks before. So they've really built this team from scratch. And now they're living up to their potential and whatnot. I mean, they were so fast at all the super speedways last year. They can do road courses. They're so versatile and whatnot. You just hope they get that consistency going because they're either at the front or they're at the back and whatnot. You want them to have a little bit more consistency, but like this is a good roster to have. I mean, these guys could all run with this team for 10 years
Yeah.
and start stacking those trophies in that little building there. That building, I went and visited that at Charlotte. It's tiny. Surprised they can fit a third cup team in there. Like they could hardly fit 2 cup cars in a truck. But they're getting it done and that's going to be an exciting team to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they keep it up. They can be one of the biggest teams in the sport. They could be right up next to a Hendrick or a Penske. All right, and one of the forgotten ones, Ty Dillon is coming back full time racing for Colleague in the 10, renumbered after the 31. Sorry, Nick. But better
I
news, Daniel Hemrick is going to be running the 19
yeah, I
in the
mean,
Truck Series.
it
He can
worked
win
out.
some
That's a good
races.
ride. That's a
It
good
worked
ride.
out for me. A lot of people like to think that that's just him taking a step back. I don't think it is.
No.
Well, which would I rather have here? Would I rather run that 31 car and run 27th to
Hmm.
32nd every week? Or would I rather go back down to the truck series in a truck that Chris Zemeckis drove to multiple race wins a year ago and was a title contender? Yeah, I think I'm taking that option. So I'm very excited for Daniel Hemrick to get back down to the trucks this year and just go see what he can do. This is what he needs. He needs a truck. He just needs a car that he can just go do it, run well. And that car racing, that was not it. So I'm excited for Hemrick this year.
Gentlemen, remind me again where the Colleague Racing Shop is. Do you know? Do you know where the Colleague Racing Shop is?
Isn't that right next to RCR?
It's on RCR's campus.
Yeah, yeah.
Remind me again who Ty Dillon is related to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally.
No, yeah, he
They're
bought
like,
him another
hey,
ride.
we won't charge you guys rent if you put my grandson in your car.
I think
So like,
it came.
and the last thing I'll have to say at this is that we get 40 cars, 38 cars week to week. Somebody's got to finish 38th.
Yeah, right.
Somebody's
Well,
got to do it.
according
So
according to Ty Dillon, this is the best opportunity that he's ever had.
he
And
raced for his grandfather.
I just remember him all those
Ugh.
years saying that, oh nope, I'm not gonna ask Pop out for a ride, and then it finally just he got fired from his truck team. He sucked ass everywhere he went to,
Mhm.
and then he finally was just like, well, if I still want to race, this is gonna be the only way I can do it. Hey, Pop, how can you buy me a ride?
Mm.
And that's what happened. So yeah, somebody's gonna finish 38th every week, and Ty Dillon, he ran some select starts last year for Cog Racing, and boy did he light the world on fire with those 27th, 28th place finishes. And a
Corey
boy,
LaJoy deserves that car more than Ty Dillon
Yeah,
does.
dude.
we
Cody
do the same
Honestly.
Ware.
thing.
Cody Ware deserves that car before Ty Dillon does. Like, good God, give it up, dude. What
And
does he have? Does Ty Dillon bring this just crazy amount of sponsorship? Like, what
He has
does he bring to
some
the table?
nicotine pouch sponsor for like the season,
I
so
don't know.
that's
I don't
weird.
know.
Yeah, it's honest. It's just pop funded, man.
he
Cool.
finally
Thanks.
caved in.
Thanks, Pop Pop.
And
I'm
bought.
really grateful for where the way you're spending your money.
Oh, it really did
And
work out for
I
me.
will not elaborate that further
It
as to
really
avoid getting to non-racing subjects.
it really did work out for me because now I can actually be in a ride where I can run up front and compete for wins, and that's
Yeah,
all that
that
I could
19
ask
truck,
for.
that 19 truck is stout and
That is
it's good.
all that I can ask for, so I am all for it.
Absolutely, man. All right, so talking about your favorite driver, we're going to your most hated driver, Justin Haley. He is going to be driving the number 7 for Spire Motorsports. We saw that transition late into the season last year with him and Corey LaJoy swapping rides. So Justin Haley will be calling the number 7 home. That is going to be great because he is paired up with one of the best crew chiefs of all time with Rodney Childers.
Hmm.
I think that is
I
going to
think
be
it's
a
just yeah.
deadly combo. We've seen Spire Motorsports become one of the most laughable teams to an actual contender team. Justin Haley, is a great wheelman, and this is all he needed was just
I
the
think
best crew chief.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the biggest surprise team of the year outside of front row motorsports. I think it's going to be Spire, and I think it's going to be Justin Haley in the 7, exactly because he's paired with one of the best crew chiefs in the game, and Rodney Childers. I mean, Spire as a whole program, they got Michael McDowell to come to their team.
Yeah,
When Michael McDowell, he left a very good front row team. He practically was there from the beginning of the front row days, and he built it up. And as soon as they started getting good, he jumped ship, and now he's the Spire. That he's got to believe in them. I think they're going to be a very sneaky good team this year too. And they got Carson Hocevar returning to action. Let's hope he can mature a little bit more. But yeah, we got two teams that we used to joke about a lot that are really looking like they're going to be doing some good things this year.
yeah. This team and front row are going to shake up the sport this year. They're going to be up at front. They're going to be competing. I mean, Carson Osvar was competing. I mean, he's only getting better from here. Um, the Michael McDowell move, he was all that time he was at front row. It was
Yeah,
year to year.
yeah.
They could have cut him anytime they wanted. And Spire came knocking. They said, "Hey, we're going to pair you up with the veteran crew chief. We're going to pay you for 3 years or something." Like that for somebody who's been racing in the Cup Series for 15 years, you don't know when your last contract's going to be. So getting locked in for 3 years is good. I mean, I think I'm excited to see how Rodney Childers is going to affect this team as a whole. But then you got McDowell with Travis Peterson, who's no slouch, and then Hocevar again with Luke Lambert. Like these are
Yeah,
household names, and you have this veteran who's been in the driver's seat for the last 15 years, coming into this young team, knowing what he needs to bring to the table and whatnot. So I mean, even Michael McDowell and Rodney Childers being in the same competition meetings is going to be just so invaluable to the team. Like it's going to be fantastic.
yeah, absolute man. Great pairings right there. We know SVG, he's going to be running full time this year. I'm excited to see how he's going to do in
Still
the
wish he
next
didn't have
gen
to do the
car.
88. Still wish he wasn't in the 88. That doesn't make
Yep.
any sense. I don't know
I
why they
wish it
did
was
that.
I wish it was the 97.
Nobody's driving the 97. What are we doing?
Yeah, exactly. So that'll
whatever.
be cool. WeatherTech and Red Bull will be
Mm-hmm.
backing him. Josh Berry, he's going to Wood Brothers Racing. Did you guys see the paint scheme for the Clash this weekend?
No.
All red Ford Motorcraft car.
Oh,
Looks old school looking. It is
Oh,
absolutely
look that
beautiful.
up right now.
I'm hoping that Josh Berry can be the one to break the curse of the 21 car. Because
Yeah, get that 100th win.
well, no,
No, they
Oh,
got it.
Harrison got it, but still, just to have a consistent driver in there, haven't had that since Blaney. So
yeah.
just somebody break the curse, and I think Josh Berry, the wheelman that he is, I think he could be the guy to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Josh Berry has always been good about getting more out of his car than he needs to be, and I think he's this like veteran outsider. He's has a lot of racing experience, just not it hasn't been in NASCAR very long. That's kind of how we see the Wood brothers, but all those the opposite. It's like they've been in NASCAR forever, and I think it's a good pairing and whatnot. They're just gritty, always sticking around. And Josh Berry is a really nice dude too. You just see it in all his interviews, and he's humble and he's grateful. And I like that about Josh Berry. I think this is about where Josh Berry should be. I don't expect him to set the world on fire or anything. I don't
Right.
expect him to go. I don't even expect him to win. But I think this is where he needs to be, and this is where his career is going to take him. He got in here late. He's not going to get up to Hendrick. He's not going to get up to Penske, but he can be Penske adjacent.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think both Wood Brothers and Josh Berry can learn a lot from working with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they can be contenders once again because we know Josh didn't really have the nicest welcoming into NASCAR, into the Cup Series at least last year. He had 10 DNFs. He had the most DNFs out of any driver last year. So
Well,
maybe,
he had 9, and then he had some flat tires, and they brought him to the garage
Yeah.
for his.
yeah,
Which that's
but
going away too. That's really
Yeah.
important. That's going away too. Basically, all the lessons learned from Matt Kenseth at Martinsville all those years ago, they're gone. They're just going to bring the car back to the garage, and you can fix it up and come back whenever. So
dude,
good
I
job,
I
love
love
that.
it.
I think it's
good job.
great. I mean, I
Why
don't
not?
think we should completely take someone out. If you can work on the car and get it back out
Yeah,
running
yeah, for sure.
because every position matters. All right, so let's see. We already talked about a lot of these guys. AJ Allmendinger back full time in the Cup Series. That's just shaking our head. Like, all right, he
Why
was
do
in the
they
Cup
do
Series
that?
2 years
Why?
ago. He went back to Xfinity and now he's Cup. It's just colleague
Why'd they
playing
ever take him
these.
out? But there's also 5 regular season road courses, and you'd expect AJ to go win one of those and get into the playoffs. And as we saw the change for Wood Brothers, getting into the playoffs gets you about $1 million, and it's money. It's a business.
Yeah, so they said, why the hell not?
Betting on AJ. I'd bet on AJ.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, let's get into the clash at Bowman Gray Stadium this upcoming Sunday night. NASCAR is going back to its roots, one of the oldest tracks out there. Really cool track, but we have seen some tempers
Yeah.
absolutely light up at this track. Some of the worst racing that we've seen with some late model and ARCA racing here at this track. But these are professionals in the Cup Series. They're not going to act like complete fucking idiots, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a hater of this. I absolutely. Yeah, this is the biggest joke of a track in all of motorsports, and I'm just gonna be a hater of it. I'm just gonna get that out there.
Well, so again, this is the same thing that they did at Los Angeles, except they're bringing it to a town that has a population of like 40,000 people. So you go from this concept, you've proved that you can build a small racetrack inside a stadium, inside a huge metropolis, and then you're going to go to Bowman Gray for what? That seats 40,000 people for what? For what? Like it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it gets back to the grassroots, but you're going to see a quarter mile track where the cars aren't going to get more than 65 miles an hour, and then it's going to be cold as hell. Like I don't know. It doesn't. Who knows? We could get like snow delayed for this. I mean, they just had 10 inches of snow down in New Orleans. Like
Yeah.
anything could happen. Like this race could get snowed out. Like I just don't understand. They had such a good format. They just needed to move the Clash around the country, put it in stadiums where the weather's nice, and they chose Bowman Gray.
Yeah.
So I will watch because I watch NASCAR.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's the first
So,
race of the year. I mean, yeah, I don't like what they're gonna be doing at
mhm.
Bowman Gray, but hell, I'm still freaking excited for it.
Yeah, I mean it's cool. They're gonna lean into the history. They're gonna lean into the drama. They're gonna show a bunch of clips of those guys driving across the infield and trying to hit other people.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna see the race, and it's gonna be the exact same race we had at the Clash, just with less people watching it and colder. So eh, I don't know, but I guess the Clash last year had a crazy rainstorm, and then they raced it a night early so they wouldn't get dealt with the rainstorm. And then again, maybe it's a good thing that they moved it away from LA because of all the wildfires out there. So, uh, blessing in disguise. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said about the video game, NASCAR fans are never happy. So no use in complaining. Just sit back and enjoy the race.
Not me, man. I want it back in Daytona. I miss
Hmm.
the whole Speed Weeks feel. Like it was just so
Oh,
fun
that's what it was.
to get it
Yeah.
kicked off like a week before, and then we have the whole week to look forward to the Daytona 500. It just it's gone now. It doesn't
There's just
have the same
yeah.
feeling when we're
At
rolling
least we're
into the
getting
Daytona
practice.
500.
At least we're
Yeah, at
getting
least we got
practice. So
practice.
Connor Daly doesn't roll out in qualifying and the rear end is locked up and he has to bounce the car around the track like a basketball. Like at least we're getting that from NASCAR, and we're getting a little bit longer practice session, simpler qualifying formats after the Daytona 500 throughout the season.
Yeah,
So we're getting a little bit back to the speed week
but it's
format,
not
but it's still a speed week. Like we just want these cars to be on the track a lot more than they are.
like that was the best part about going to a race for a weekend
Hmm.
and like camping out. The best parts were the practice and the qualifying.
Yeah,
You got so much exposure to these cars, whereas to where nowadays you get them on Saturday morning for 45 minutes, and then you'll
and the
see them
ticket
again on
prices have
Sunday.
gone up. Like you're seeing
Hmm
more cars, and you're
I just
not.
remember there used like there doesn't need to be 4 practice sessions anymore. I get that. I get why teams might not want to do that, but give us at least 2. Give us one on Friday. Give us one on Saturday.
Mhm.
At least give us some of the old feel back to it because that was probably some of my favorite parts about going to the track when I was younger. That was the best time to catch the drivers too. Practice and qualifying. That was it.
Yeah.
What you had all weekend to do that.
I mean,
You
you
don't
have
get
drivers now. They fly in on Saturday, they fly home Saturday night, and they come back Sunday morning to do the race. Talk about getting your old school roots, going to Bowman Gray. Go to your old school roots and have practice one, practice two, happy hour,
yeah.
qualifying, practice four.
Yeah.
Like, give us that. We pay to go see these cars drive around the track. We want to see our heroes, even when they're just shaking on the car. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah,
Money
so
is why not, but
yeah,
whatever.
like you said, you can never make all NASCAR fans happy. It's completely impossible. But going back to Bowman Gray, that's going to be 7 o'clock Eastern on Fox on Sunday night. We're going to have practice and heat races on Saturday evening, and then our last chance race will be before the Clash on Sunday. So that should be an exciting 2 days. The Clash is 200 laps, only green flag laps count, which I think is cool. We'll be able to get at least a lengthy race in because we know
Hmm.
there's going to be quite a few cautions with this. A break after 100 laps, and the big one here, the race must finish under green. This is disaster in the making right here because we have seen things happen before where we've been under this kind of scenario. And I feel like at a track like Bowman Gray, it's just calamity.
Well, yeah, I mean, you get a late race caution, then what stops the guy from 20th from punting a guy, causing a caution? Oh, okay, and then punting a guy, causing a caution. Oh, okay, punting. Suddenly he's in fifth and he sends it four wide in a turn two, takes the win. Oh, he punts a guy, causes another caution. Oh, it has to end under green, sir. Trash, terrible. Blaney
Yeah.
pulls down his net and he's got to hold it up for 2 laps. Oh well,
Oh
it's an
man.
exhibition. Hopefully these guys won't get too rowdy. I mean, hopefully they get rowdy enough to put on a good show, but
We saw Rowdy get rowdy last year in an exhibition race.
oh Hopefully he can do that, but to the competition by winning the race.
and not getting punched in the face afterwards.
Yeah, well, you win some, you lose some.
All right, guys. Well, the time has come. We must make our picks for the inaugural clash at Bowman Gray Stadium. Nick, we'll start off with you, buddy. Who is going to survive this hellstorm of a race?
It's the guy who always just comes out on top when we do something new. Um, He we went to the Clash at the Coliseum, and who was the guy who won that race? Joey Logano. He is the guy who won the first Bristol Dirt race. Joey Logano. He is the guy who, when we went to North Wilkesboro for the first time and won that race. Joey Logano. Something about this guy. He just adapts to these new things so well, better than anybody else can do it. So fresh off of the worst championship I've ever seen in my years of watching this sport, Joey Logano is going to begin his quest to defend this bullshit title with a win at the worst, most disgraceful track in all of motorsports. Give me Logano. It's just fitting.
Yay, NASCAR's back.
Woo! What better way to start off your season
Ugh.
at a disgrace of a track like this with a guy like Joey Logano winning a bullshit title like he did last year? Yeah, love it.
We're gonna have to watch 6 interviews with Joey Logano before the Clash, and then the
Oh yeah,
same 6 interviews before the Daytona 500,
oh yeah.
and that's gonna
Don't make me
suck.
sick.
I'm so tired of hearing his name already. Already, we're week 1. Uh, yeah, but that'll happen because again, the worst weekend in NASCAR wouldn't be capped off without the worst winner in NASCAR.
All right, Tom, who is your winner for Sunday night?
When I was at the Coke 600, one of the racing museums I went to, told about how their owner used to, when he found out about what racing was, he got a job selling peanuts and concessions in the crowd at Bowman Gray just so he could be at the races, and that's what he built his whole race team off of. So if I have an inkling of how I think this script should go, if NASCAR are writing a script, I'd say this driver owner or this car owner should get one of his cars to victory lane. So I'm going to go with the 8 or the 3, but most likely the 8 to win at Bowman Gray. These guys did really well. I mean, these 2 finished really well in all of the clashes at LA. So the 8 and the 3 know how to get around these quarter mile tracks for whatever reason. Maybe they should focus on a little bit bigger tracks that we actually get points for. But Kyle Busch, we'll see a bow from Kyle Busch and build up that confidence.
All right. I like it.
I know, no, you don't, but that's okay.
Eh,
You're like,
I
you're
just want to be
crazy.
nice.
He's never winning a race ever again. I get it.
Well, if we're going to an old school track, I gotta go with kind of an old school feel kind of driver, and I'm going with Mr. Ryan Blaney. Um,
Hmm.
we saw him win at the inaugural Iowa race last year, so maybe he's kind of taken the throne from the inaugural winners. So it seems to be a Penske thing now. So let's go old 12er at Bowman.
Now that one I would love to see. Anybody but that fucking 22 car. If this is
Yeah.
really how we have to start our year off, then it's going to be a bad season, boys.
I mean, frankly, it's just going to be interesting to kind of see a feel of how all these new teams and changes. I mean, there's so many rule changes, so many drivers in different seats and whatnot. We're just spitballing here. Like we don't know who's going to do what yet. Um, we won't know for the first 4 weeks how these teams are going to look, but it's going to be fun to watch. I'm excited for the season to get going again and being able to get up and talk NASCAR every week and just live my racing life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm happy it's coming back. The off season, it always just feels so long and
Hmm.
cold for some reason. But
Well, it is Chicago.
yes, it is. But I am super excited for this. I just love seeing all the paint scheme reveals for the weeks that are coming up, and then we'll have the duels coming up pretty soon, and then soon the Daytona 500. And Just so excited to see what will happen this season because last year we saw some of the wildest racing. We saw the closest finish in NASCAR
Hmm.
history, and I think it's just going to keep getting better and better, and the drama is just going to be high.
Do you guys have any races you're going out to see in person this year? Anything planned yet?
Uh, Talladega in the spring.
Great.
I know we're doing the Chicago street race again. Going to try and get the hot passes for that.
Nice.
I know we want to do Kansas in the fall for the playoff race because we have our tickets from Michigan that we're able
Ah,
to roll over for that. And probably just Michigan and Indy, the normal kind of close
excellent.
tracks.
Excellent. I took the week off to go see the Martinsville playoff race.
No.
Ooh,
So I'm excited. My dad and I are going to grab tickets and head down that way. And I think that'll be a really fun race and fun venue to see as long
yeah,
as the playoff format stays the same.
yeah. We went to the playoff race at Martinsville a few years ago, and man, that
Mhm.
was
You saw
one.
drama.
Mm.
Yeah,
So I
that
mean,
was cool,
honestly, you guys telling me you experienced that. That weekend was available for me to take off of work, and I said, "Hell yeah, let's go." So
dude. Sweet,
yeah, be fantastic to do that. So
awesome.
I'm gonna do it,
Well,
and I'll
we
be in
got
Chicago, of course, because it's right outside my
yeah,
window.
it's right outside your window, and they even had to get it on camera for one of the
Yeah,
promos.
yeah. Don't dox me, but literally my apartment is shown in this promo. It's like my actual apartment. So that's kind of funny, but
That's just
yeah.
NASCAR Chasm doing his investigating, finding out where you live, and he's like,
He's
"All
on to
right,
me. He's on to me.
let's freak him out."
Hmm. Hmm.
All right, guys. Well, we hope you enjoy the Clash this weekend. It's going to be chaos. Hope your favorite driver survives, unless his name is Joey Logano.
Yeah.
Um, but that will do it for us, guys. Make sure to follow us down on the links below. So for the Stock Car Spectacle, I'm Ian Jordan,
I'm Nick Kinsel.
And I'm Tom Hoblet.
and we'll see you guys next time. Enjoy the Clash.